This is where most candidates lose marks. This option looks academic, but it's wrong. This confusion appears again and again in NET questions. Let's fix this properly. By the end of this video, structuralism will feel simple and exam ready. If structuralism feels confusing in UGC NET, this slide explains why. Structuralism is not just a theory, it is a foundation theory. UGC NET often tests structuralism both directly and indirectly by mixing it with post-structuralism. Most wrong answers happen because students mix the two. So today our focus is clarity, not length. In UGC NET, structuralism is often misunderstood, so let's fix it in one slide. Structuralism studies language and culture as a system. It does not look at individual words or texts in isolation. Instead, it asks, how do elements function within a structure? If structuralism feels confusing in UGC NET, this slide explains why. In simple words, meaning does not come from things themselves, but from their position and difference within a system. This sentence is very important for the exam. NET repeatedly asks this: who actually laid the foundation of structuralism? The answer is always Ferdinand de Saussure. His major contribution was shifting our focus from history to structure, from how language evolved to how language functions as a system. According to Saussure, language is not random, it is structured, rule-governed, and relational. Words do not carry meaning themselves. They carry meaning because they are different from other words. Meaning is produced by difference, not by reference to reality. Now comes one of the most tested concepts, the sign. For Saussure, a sign has two parts: signifier and the signified. Signifier is the sound or the word form. The signified is the concept or the idea in the mind. But the real object is called the referent, not the signified. Referent is the real object, but it is not part of the sign. Please remember, signifier and the signified are mental constructs. In the exam, options often confuse signified with the real object. This is crucial for NET. Structuralism separates language into lang and parole. Lang refers to the abstract system, social rules, shared structure of language, whereas parole refers to individual speech, actual usage, and concrete expression. History looks important, but structuralism ignores it. Structuralism freezes language to understand the system. Structuralism studies language synchronically, that is, language at one point in time. It does not focus on historical development. NET often gives tricky options here, so be careful. If an option mentions author's intention, reject it. Structuralism deliberately ignores certain things. It does not focus on author's intention, historical context, reader response. These approaches belong to later crucial theories. Structuralism is concerned only with structure and system. In literary studies, Structuralism treats a text as a system. Meaning is produced through patterns, structures, and binary oppositions. For example, good versus evil, nature versus culture, male versus female. The focus is always on relation, not emotions or intentions. Meaning became unstable. Structuralism collapsed and post-structuralism began. Over time, critics began to feel that structuralism was too rigid. It assumes fixed structure, stable meaning, but language does not behave that way. This dissatisfaction leads to the emergence of post-structuralism, which questions the stability assumed by the structuralism. Please remember this distinction clearly for MCQs. Structuralism believes in structure, system, and relative stability of meaning, whereas post-structuralism believes in instability, fluid meaning, and endless interpretations. Never mix these two in the exam. If you understood this, structuralism is done. Save this slide before you forget. Before you scroll, lock this in. Structuralism studies systems, meaning works through difference, synchronic analysis matters, Saussure is the foundation. Save this and follow for UGC NET English. Thank you.